back to the Huddle, where we'll be sizing up this week's top high school football games from the Alliance area. I'm Ruth Lang, pinch hitting for Review Executive Editor Rob Toder, and as always, we're joined by Review Sports Editor Mike Brown. Mike, Marlington has been the team to beat this week. The Dukes are 3-0, and they have another big game on Friday when they host Louisville. How do you think that's going to turn out?
That's one of the best early season matchups. It really is. You've got Marlington off to a 3-0 start. You've got a dynamic running back in DeMonte Thomas, who's really a good player on defense, too. He's really the leader of that defense. Against Louisville, which has a great passing attack. And these are two arch rivals. They had a big game last year, controversial ending, and I think that just adds to the excitement of this year's matchup on Friday night at Marlington.
Another big game is Alliance versus West Branch in Beloit. How do you see that turning out, Mike?
Well, these are two 0-3 teams, but they're really not 0-3 teams because Alliance is a young team that's getting better every week, and West Branch has just played a murderous early season schedule. And this is always a good game. You throw out last year's game, it was a blowout, but all the rest of the games in this series have been very close, and I look for this one to be a close one too. It's in Beloit, where Alliance has always won when the game's been at West Branch. And outside of last year's game, it was Mountain Union Stadium, West Branch had always won at Alliance, which is kind of bizarre. So we'll see if that holds true this year, but that should be a really good game too. You have two really good quarterbacks in that game. Troy James for West Branch is coming off a big game, and then for Alliance you have Cordell Phillips, who is a very exciting player to watch. So that should be a very entertaining game, and I cannot tell you who's going to win that game. That may come down to whoever gets the ball last and has the last possession in that contest.
Sebring's still looking for its first win and will make the long trek down to Southern Local Friday night as it battles against the Indians.
Yeah, Sebring's still looking for its first win. It's 0-3 in the season, but getting better every week under Coach Scott Springer, who's very positive. The kids like him a lot. They work hard for him. They'll go to Southern Local Friday night. Southern Local's a team that's 2-1 on the season. They opened the season with a win over East Palestine, and they have another win, and then got shellacked last weekend by the Crestwood Rebels. So it's hard to gauge what kind of football team they are. Hopefully Sebring can make the road journey down there Friday night and get their first win.
And Minerva is looking at a 1-2 season, and it's going to be facing Canton South, which is 3-0. A little bit of a surprise this season. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, Canton South has been a surprise. I think it's a little tough to gauge them right now because their independent schedule compared to other teams is maybe not as tough as some of the other teams that play. Now, having said that, though, Canton South has a lot of good players back from last year, and I think they're going to be a factor. You know, they're going to be a difference maker in this NBC race this fall. Now, we'll find out a lot about them. This is the NBC opener for both teams on Friday night. Minerva's 1-2, but I still think that's a good football team. Jake Riley, the quarterback, is one of the most terrific players in the area. Can make things happen, and I think Canton South has a lot of electrifying players as well. So this could be a high-scoring game at South on Friday night, and I don't know which way that one's going to go as well. That could be a game that might be decided late.
Now, some other area games happening on Friday include Carrollton at Salem, Garrettsville-Garfield at Southeast, McDonald at Western Reserve, and United at Springfield Local. And on Saturday, St. Thomas plays at Trinity. And the Review will be shooting the games at Louisville at Marlington and Alliance at West Branch. So be sure to check that out online at www.the-review.com.
Should be a great weekend of high school football. Again, I'm looking forward to it, and we'll see you at the game this weekend.
Thanks for joining us, and be sure to check us out on the Huddle again next week.